Is your child turning 21 soon? We need to talk about how you can protect your children after they turn 21 years old in the United States. Hi everyone, my name is Audra Doyle and I'm the owner and attorney of Doyle Law in Atlanta, Georgia. This is a common issue that immigrant families have. They come to the United States and their children, their spouse are all dependents on the main applicant's application. So let's use an example. The main applicant has an H-1B. The dependent family members all have H-4 visas and they have H-4 status in the U.S. Well, children grow up. And what happens when a child turns 21? Automatically, their H-4 is going to go away. And the smart thing for people to do is to plan for that moment and to make sure that their children are protected and able to stay in the U.S. So today I'm going to give you some strategies on how to do that. Number one, mark the date where they're going to turn 21. You already do, but think about it from an immigration standpoint and decide, okay, when my child turns 21, what case are we going to file for them that will allow them to remain in the U.S.? Typically, a child already is in college. So the next option you should think about is a student visa. That's the F1 visa. And I understand it requires tuition as a non-resident, etc., etc. But the F1 visa will allow your child to seamlessly transition from the H4, the hypothetical H4, over to an F1 without ever having to leave the United States. The next tip for you is to be sure to file on time. Most of these cases need to be filed 6 months prior to the date where you need the change of status to happen. So if your child turns 21 on September the 1st, you need to count back 6 months and file the case in early spring. You also, if you're going for the F1 student visa, be aware that you've got to work with a U.S. college or university to secure the right documentation. Other visas that you can consider if the child is not in school are a vocational visa or even possibly just to give them a little more time in the U.S., moving them over to a visitor visa. These forms are on, the form that you will be using is the form I-539, and you can get your child several more years in the United States. The last thing to think about is if your child is turning 21 soon, you need to think backwards a few more years, maybe about 2 years prior to that child turning 21 for most people. For Indians, think farther back than that, because you may be able to include that child in your own green card application. If the child is turning 21, the green card application is not approved yet, but it already has been filed. Everybody's cases are filed. We may be able to show that they qualify for the Child Status Protection Act, which will freeze their age of 21 for several more months at least. These are all strategies that you need to think about when your child will be turning 21 soon. And what I recommend for Indian clients especially, and for our Chinese clients, they have long backlogs with the visa bulletin. So your immigration planning needs to start when those children are much younger. Hope this information is helpful to everyone. And as always, if you need assistance, please reach out and contact us.